So welcome back dear students of standard 9th. We'll now continue with chapter 14 today in science titled Substances in Common Use. Before we continue with the remaining part of the lesson, let's briefly revise what we learned in the previous class. So basically we learned last time we began learning about some simple salts which we use in our day-to-day life, which we commonly use every day. Now, what are first and foremost? What are simple salts? We saw simple salts are those compounds or ionic compounds which do not contain hydrogen ions or hydroxide ions, and they contain only one cation, that is positive ion, and one anion or a negative ion, and that's why they are called simple salts. And then we learned a few simple salts, the first one, and we learned about their properties and their uses. The first simple salt that we learned about is was sodium chloride. So sodium chloride was a neutral salt. What is a neutral salt? We learned last time. A neutral salt is a salt which is made from a strong acid and a strong base, or a weak acid and a weak base. But here sodium chloride is made from a strong acid and strong base. It is made from sodium hydroxide, which is a strong base, and hydrochloric acid, which is a strong acid. We learned about its properties and uses. Then we learned about sodium bicarbonate, that is baking soda, and or what you call sodium hydrogen carbonate. So sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydrogen carbonate, commonly called as baking soda. Then we learned about bleaching powder, which is also called, which is the chemical name is calcium oxychloride. And then we learned about washing soda, which is the chemical name is sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate. And then we learned about a few crystalline salts. We learned about a few crystalline salts like alum, borax, Epsom salt, barium chloride, sodium sulfate, and some uses of these crystalline salts, especially alum and blue vitriol. We learned about their uses. And then we learned about soaps. Why soaps? Because soaps are nothing but they are also salts. They are sodium or potassium salts of carboxylic acids. And this lesson is all about salts. Yeah, almost the first half is all about salts. So, because soaps are salts of fatty acids, we learned about soaps, and then we learned about two types of soaps: bathing soaps and washing soaps, and the difference between them. Then we went on, we left the salt, or the world of salts, and we went on to the world of radioactive substances. We learned about radioactive substances. We saw Henry Becquerel, who discovered natural radioactivity. No, by accident, he discovered radioactivity. The French scientist Henry Becquerel. And then we saw there was one couple who discovered or who invented induced radioactivity, or what we call artificial radioactivity. That couple, husband and wife, Frederick Juliet Curie and Irene Juliet Curie. And when we saw in radioactive radiation, there are three types of rays. We saw alpha rays, beta rays, and gamma rays. What are alpha rays? We saw alpha rays are basically positively charged rays, radiations. Beta rays are negatively charged radiations, and gamma rays are no, they don't have any charge, or they are neutral. Okay. Then we went on to learn about the uses of radioactive isotopes. We learned how radioactive isotopes are used in industries, in agriculture, and in medical science. In medical science, we use radioactive isotopes for or these radiations for either diagnosing or detecting the disease, like we saw boron 10, iodine 131, cobalt 60 are used for detecting, no, sorry, arsenic 74 used to detect the small tumors in the body, and also we learned about how these radiations also used for treatment of various diseases. So in medical science, we saw radioactive isotope used for diagnosis also and for treatment also. And then we also saw, just like I told you, there are two sides of every coin. We saw that just as radioactive radiations or isotopes can be used, materials can be useful to mankind. They can also be a curse for mankind, or they also have hard adverse or harmful effects. And we learned about the hazards of radioactive these radioactive materials. And then we ended the chapter last time with the famous Chernobyl disaster which occurred in the former Soviet Union, which is now no more there. It got partitioned. Okay, USSR and Russia somewhere around that side. We found out about the famous Chernobyl disaster where the nuclear reactor exploded and caused a lot of damage to the environment and also to human beings, plants, and animals. And they are still suffering till today. The effects are still being felt there. So today, what we'll be basically learning today is we'll be learning about some food colors, some chemical substances which we use in our day-to-day life, like food colors and essences, dyes, some artificial colors, especially which we use for playing Holi and all that. And we learn about deodorants. We learn about Teflon coating, mud or Teflon coating. Then we learn about powder coating, anodizing, and we learn about ceramics. In ceramics, we learn about porcelain, some high quality ceramics called porcelain, then bone china, which is also a high quality porcelain, then some advanced ceramics, and we'll end the chapter there. Okay. So, dear students, let's continue with the lesson now. So, please pay attention to what is being taught to you.
Chemical substances in day to day life. The food that we eat, objects like clothes, utensils, watches, medicines, and other objects are made from various kinds of matter. These affect our health directly or indirectly. Food colors and essences. Food colors are mixed in most soft drinks and foodstuffs available in the market. These food colors are in the form of powder, gels, and pastes. Food colors are used in domestic as well as commercial products. Certain colors and essences are added to ice cream, ice candies, sauce, fruit juices, cold drinks, pickles, jams, and jelly. Food colors are often found to be added to packaged meat, chicken, mutton, chili powder, turmeric, sweets, and other similar substances so as to give them a good color.
So, boys, you must also see in your day to day life when you order this paneer, no, tandoori chicken and all, chicken lollipop. You see, chicken meat is not having that red color, but they put that red color so that the chicken lollipop looks very tasty. So food color is all about attracting, no? What is that? We get very attracted when you see colorful foods, no? Colorful foods always attract attention. So meat by itself is slightly lightish pink in color. So if you see it, you won't get attracted. But if you put nice tandoori red color, tandoori powder, you get attracted to it. So it's all about adding colors. But we don't realize that these colors, if they are not, if they are these artificial colors, what you see, what you they put in mithais and all that, no, you also see it in mithais, no, mithai. The mawa by default is light white in color, no, but when they put colors and all, then they make all these burfis and all. They've got different colors. Mango burfi, they put yellow color and all. So these colors, most of them are artificial and they can always cause lot of health problems. So we need to be very careful when we eat such colorful foods. Colorful goods are good to see, but not good for the stomach. So let's see what are the harmful effects of these artificial food colors now.
Harmful effects of artificial food colors. 1. Food colors added to pickles, jams, and sauce contain small quantities of lead and mercury.
Now, lead and mercury, as you all have studied in your lower classes also, they are carcinogenic substances. In other words, they can cause cancer. So when and they add it to all these pickles and jams, what you just saw in sauces and all. So they can, in the long run, they can be very harmful. They can cause cancer, and nowadays you have seen the incidence of cancer is very high. Many people are falling prey to this disease of cancer thanks to this food additives or food adulterants. That cancer has become very prevalent nowadays. So be careful. Lead and mercury are cancer causing substances, or what I call they are carcinogenic.
These can be harmful for those who consume these products on a regular basis. 2. Diseases like ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, can affect children due to excessive consumption of foods with added food colors.
So this is also one more problem. Children are suffering from ADHD. ADHD means they become very hyperactive. Okay, and because they are very restless, their attention span is reduced. So they are not able to concentrate on one thing, and we can say be focused on one thing. They're very restless characters, are very hyperactive. So it can be so. Sometimes it is all. Sometimes it can be because uh, of eating lot of these colored food items with lot of food colors and essences, especially artificial food colors. So, like jalebis, no, you see jalebis, they are yellowish or reddish in color. So there are a lot of dyes and all these, no, all the sweets and all these things what you get nowadays have a lot of food colors. So it can cause hyperactivity or restlessness in the kids. And if your attention span is less, obviously what will happen is you will be you will not be able to focus on your studies, and you will go down, or you will not fare well in your exam because you're not able to concentrate on what is being taught to you, or whatever you're learning, whether you're being when you're sitting in the class also you'll feel restless, or even if you're learning by yourself at home you'll feel restless. Your no attention span is very less. So this is one more problem nowadays. You see a lot of children are very hyperactive and restless. So one of the causes is this food essences and colors.
Always remember, food colors are natural as well as artificial. The food colors prepared from seeds, beetroot, flowers and fruit concentrate are natural. Tetrazine, sunset yellow are artificial food colors used extensively. However, overconsumption of artificial food colors can be detrimental to health. Therefore, usage of natural food colors is always